What if the fate of the Lakers' next championship era isn't just about star power or coaching genius, but hinges on the precise moment in time when the right pieces finally click like a delicate puzzle, revealing its masterpiece after a long, grinding season in the shadows? What if every move, every trade whisper, every roster shuffle is actually the heartbeat of a ticking clock, counting down to a moment where history could be rewritten, or heartbreak could deepen? Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where raw truth meets purple and gold passion. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a second of this drama. Now, what I'm about to unpack has the potential to redefine everything you've thought about this offseason. Because the Lakers are stirring the pot again, and this time, it's not just about patchwork fixes, it might be about something far bigger. After all the frantic moves and the roster gymnastics we've witnessed these last few days, one deal looms on the horizon that could either shift the scales towards another title run or plunge us into yet another cycle of what-ifs. Let's talk about the latest seismic tremors shaking purple and gold from the inside out. They just snagged Marcus Smart, yes, the scrappy defensive maestro who was bought out by the Washington Wizards. And to fit him in, the Lakers had to waive Shake Milton and Jordan Goodwin, clearing a precious slot that still leaves one open, breathing room for another potential shakeup. But that's not the whole story. Rick Siegel, a name close to the Lakers front office grapevine, whispers that talks with the Memphis Grizzlies and Minnesota Timberwolves have turned towards the names weighing heavy in Lakers fans' minds: Kentavious KCP Caldwell-Pope and Donte DiVincenzo. Now imagine KCP, our guy who cut his teeth, won his first ring here in L.A., a defender you simply cannot ignore, brought back home. How wild would that ring-opening scene be? The twist is that he's currently on Memphis's roster, a relic in the big Desmond Bane mega-trade that sent Memphis 5 first-round picks, while Bane himself headed to Orlando. And because that trade happened before the NBA draft and before the 2025-26 season kicks off, he's eligible to be moved again. Think about what KCP represents. He's not just a role player. He's a two-time NBA champ with icy perimeter defense and a three-point shot that, while streaky, is elite when it finds rhythm. Sure, last season in Orlando was rough, hitting only 30% from deep on a team that desperately needed his shot. But look deeper. 4 years before, KCP was a 40%+ career shooter who more than held his own on stacked playoff contenders. His presence would inject the Lakers' backcourt with the kind of championship-caliber spacing and lockdown defense that we haven't seen consistently in recent seasons. And as the Lakers plot their future, eyes fixed firmly on the 2027 offseason. As their culmination point, KCP fits this puzzle like a missing piece. He's at that 33-year-old crossroad, possibly opting into his player option, likely valuing the stability and the chance to shine in a system that suits him. The contract math checks out, nothing sky high, and his experience priceless. But then there's Donte DiVincenzo, a tougher, grittier, different beast to guard who knows physicality inside out, with length, athleticism, and a nose for defense and timely three-point shooting. Remember him? The guy who the Timberwolves leaned on heavily against the Lakers in the playoffs, the one causing headaches with his relentless pressure and savvy cuts? The Lakers actually pursued Donte a few years back when he hit free agency, and while his role thinned out last season with Minnesota, partly thanks to the Julius Randle trade reshuffling, with Mike Conley aging, DiVincenzo's value as a sharpshooting defensive stopper on a contending team is growing. His salary is manageable to just under $12 million, which means theoretically, the Lakers could wheel a smart salary match without triggering the dreaded hard cap thresholds. The problem? Minnesota, much like us, wants to build, not break. They're unlikely to give the Lakers a gift, and preliminary talks reportedly saw them slam the door on any DiVincenzo moves. So the hurdle is not just financial, it's psychological. Will the Wolves bolster us or block us? And at what price? Maybe it's a 2031 first-rounder that breaks the impasse, maybe not. All of this plays out amid a backdrop of intense Lakers roster management. The team keeps hovering just below the salary apron, careful not to trigger the hard cap. That would hamstring flexibility while juggling moves like Marcus Smart's pending signing and the waivers needed to make room. How far are they willing to push? How much are they willing to gamble to snag that final piece? Because if KCP returns, if DiVincenzo somehow materializes, suddenly that backcourt defense and shooting get a massive upgrade. That's the kind of upgrade that could push LeBron and AD over the edge. this season that could push Austin Reeves and the role players into genuine title contender territory. But here's the thing, the window might be open or closing, and every move they make signals a long-term vision locked for 2027. It's a timeline that speaks of patience, of building depth and versatility over quick fixes, yet with championship history echoing through the veins of guys like KCP. There's a tension between nostalgia and necessity of feeling that bringing a Warrior back home isn't just a reunion, it's an urgent lifeline thrown into the storm. So as we watch the salary sheets, the whispered negotiations, and the relentless pulse of the front office chess match, ask yourself, is this about just filling spots, or is it about crafting the kind of identity that Lakers teams of the Magic and Kobe era mastered? Because history has shown us that the right role players can tilt the scales. The right mix of defense and shooting, toughness and intelligence, can turn a group of stars into a tiki-taka-like championship machine, all synchronized with timing and heart. As a lifelong Lakers fan, I can't help but feel this moment is dripping with that same fragile tension, the edge of greatness or the brink of collapse, the unresolved trade talks, the roster spots still open, the shadow of the salary cap looming like a storm cloud. This feels less like a simple transaction update and more like a defining crossroads. So I ask you, Lakers Nation, are we witnessing the dawn of a new empire ready to rise in purple and gold, built with careful calculation and championship-tested grit? Or is this the first crack in the foundation of what might unravel into another painful offseason of missed chances and what-ifs? Drop your take in the comments. I'll be reading everyone. Look, Lakers Nation, I need you awake right now. Really feel the weight of this moment like the final seconds ticking down in a Game 7 that the franchise's soul depends on. Because this isn't just another offseason shuffle. This is us staring into the abyss or the dawn of something monumental. And the clock is not waiting for second chances. When you talk about LeBron James, you're talking about a man redefining what greatness looks like in his 22nd season, yeah. 22 years of blood, sweat, game winners, rivalries, and heartbreak tangled with glory. He's the oldest star carrying the hopes of a franchise. Drowning in expectations, yet still demanding a shot at history no one dares to challenge. Now imagine the weight on Anthony Davis, the man whose body has been a battlefield of injuries and grit. Still one of the league's most terrifying two-way freaks, but perpetually battling to stay on the court for the sake of Lakers' destiny. Add in Bronny James' looming arrival, whose every highlight and clutch moment is dissected under the microscope of legacy and dynasty in Austin Reeves, the scrappy underdog turned fan favorite, representing that new, hungry generation desperately trying to build their own chapter in purple and gold lore. This roster, these players, this swirling storm of drama, they're more than contracts and stats. They're characters in a live-action saga that could either crown us champions or leave us gnashing teeth in the rubble of missed opportunities. Think about what Jeannie Buss means in all this. She's the queen holding the throne since the days of Jerry, balancing tradition against innovation, caught in the crossfire of a team that's been chasing ghost dreams ever since the bubble banner almost felt like a mirage in the desert. Now throw in whispers of a billionaire investor circling the Lakers' ownership, like a vulture waiting to either pour gas on the fire or rewrite the power dynamics. The kind of behind-the-scenes chess moves that could either elevate us to a new stratosphere or drag us deeper into front office chaos. It's the same kind of tension that underpinned the Showtime Lakers in the 80s, when Magic Johnson's smile masked the relentless pressure to deliver amidst Hollywood glitz and egos, or rewind to the early 2000s when Kobe Bryant and Shaq were dynamite, but the locker room was a powder keg waiting to explode. Yet they somehow willed 3 championships out of that storm. Remember the sobering aftermath when post-Shaq Lakers limped through years of uncertain identity before the divine intervention of the 2010 title run, proving resilience could cure dysfunction. And then fast forward to the near-mythical 2020 bubble win, a symbol of perseverance against a global crisis that shook everyone's faith. Yet here we are years later, still hunting for answers, still wrestling with the ghosts of past injuries, aging stars, and that merciless salary cap that strangles creativity. While the league's arms race rages on like an NBA-wide Hunger Games, and that ripple effect, man, the Western Conference is no joke. Steve Kerr's Warriors, despite the wear and tear, still carry a swagger born from rings and rocket-fueled confidence, laughing at the wild madness swirling wherever we scramble. Denver's Nikola Jokic, the human highlight reel with a soul-piercing engine of brilliance, is always a half-second away from thieving the crown if we fumble. Phoenix's young core has a hunger sharpened by past playoff disappointments. They smell blood when we hesitate. And the Clippers? The city's other blue crew ready to pounce on any sign of weakness. Do you think they're just going to stand by as we stumble over salary restrictions and risky gambles? No way. This is high stakes. Gladiator territory. The Gladiators just wear knee braces and sneakers instead of armor. Every draft pick traded, every veteran signed, every wave contract is a calculated move on this giant chessboard, where the biggest prizes get snatched by the boldest players or the luckiest negotiators. But what if all this juggling the KCP whispers, the DiVincenzo hopes, Marcus Smart's gritty presence comes together in perfect timing? What if the Lakers front office cracks this code, assembles that elusive blend of scoring, spacing, defense, and heartbreak-tested resolve right? When the stars align and the Warriors begin to fade, when the youngsters in the West peel back layers of inexperience under championship pressure, imagine a squad so tightly knit, so strategically constructed, that LeBron isn't gasping to carry the load, but orchestrating the masterpiece with a coterie that responds to every challenge, that plays defense so suffocating it feels like a wall of purple and gold, that shoots so clean from the arcs it silences even the loudest arenas. The kind of resistance that makes next year finally mean this year. But what if this puzzle doesn't fit? What if the salary cap ties our hands into digital knots, and Genie's reign crumbles into quiet unrest while billionaire sharks circle the ownership pool? What if the chemistry of Mercurial Beast is broken forever by one wrong trade or a missed opportunity, and the banners that deck the rafters become relics of a golden past slipping through our fingers? What if LeBron finally casts down the crowd with bitterness rather than triumph, and the younger stars fade into the shadows of this endless rebuild? That's the cruel razor's edge we're balanced on. I see Lakers fans at the bar, in the stands, standing outside the Forum or Crypto.com, wearing jerseys stained with the echoes of triumph and tears, faces split between hope and nightmare because this franchise is not a game. It's part of our identity, our collective heartbeat. Every buzzer beater, every trade rumor, every injury report is a note in the symphony that governs so much more than wins, and losses it shapes dreams. So as Marcus Smart walks through that locker room door, as KCP's potential homecoming rings louder, as DiVincenzo might break through that cold Minnesota wall, remember it's not just basketball. It's the Lakers wrestling the ghosts of Clyde and Magic, Kobe's relentless spirit, Shaq's dominance, the heartbreak of the 2011 collapse, the miracle of 2020, and the burning fire of the present moment, all blasting through LA's streets and arenas. Because deep down, every Purple Heart fan knows this. It's not just about winning rings. It's about fighting for the soul of a franchise that shapes legends. As a Laker till the day I die, here's what I see coming. We stand at a precipice, staring into the swirling chaos of ambition, legacy, and payroll puzzles, but also a chance, a sliver of time to reclaim the throne that some doubt we'll ever touch again. Now I want to hear it from you. Drop your Raws take below. Every true believer in purple and gold, because right now, this isn't just basketball. It's our story waiting to be written, and the pen is trembling in the hand of destiny.